Greetings, magical mages and spiritual sages. Welcome to Age of the Mage podcast, and we're on episode 73. Today's episode is going to be kind of a list of things that we can do, each and every one of us, every day, just to bring magic up in and into our lives. And I say up because, like anything else, the level of things we practice does increase as we practice. We want to raise up our vibrations, our frequency, but also our skills with magic, and also our attunement to magic, our sensitivity and our discernment. And the only way that these things can be raised up and increased and enhanced is to practice and to use these skills. So I've just listed five different ways that for most of us, these will enter into our lives on a daily basis. They're small things, and yet we can do something with them if we just remember. So I'll say all five first: food, water, color, visualization, and moon phase. And now we're going to go into each one just a little bit. All right, so with food, this is a perfect opportunity to realize that your energy connects to all energy everywhere and can infuse your food at your direction with your intention. Now, there's various ways this could happen. One, if you are cooking something, you can charge that as you're cooking. You can infuse it with your intentions of love or healing. You can add a spice or an herb. Just look it up on the internet. There's so many lists of correspondences, but like something like magical uses for cinnamon or magical uses for basil. And these things can go into your pot if they're appropriate for your recipe with just your knowledge. They are kind of a physical symbol of the magic they could add to the thing you're cooking. And so when you consciously add, let's say you add some flakes of basil, and you know what that means, that can enhance your intention, that can raise the energy around what you're cooking, and actually give that food, give that recipe your intended energetic signature there to help others that eat it or to even help yourself. So one thing, and a second way that food can be used is when we sit down to eat. We may not be doing as a group of magical practitioners or galactics and various kinds of spiritual workers who might not be any longer associated with a traditional religion. We may be out of the habit of blessing our food. Now, we have started at our home an energetic blessing. So we take a moment and one of us will say something. And yes, it's akin to a prayer, but it is, the purpose of it is to help our food infuse, help infuse our food rather with our desires on what we'd like to share around the table. If that joy, is that truth, is it wisdom, is it health, is it nourishment to the cells? And we just simply say this in our own words and ask that that energy join the food before we begin to partake of it. And so those are a couple ways that we can start being conscious, being mindful of what we're doing, and noticing that magic is just around us all the time. And the ability to use spirit, the ability to use magic just surrounds us constantly. And so when we take the time to just be sensitive to this and add it into a routine such as cooking or eating, it will greatly, it will start to change our lives in a more significant ways than first imagined. We might think, oh, that's just a small thing, but what happens is it is opening you up to more and more small things that eventually combine to make very big changes. The second one is water. So we all drink water. Hopefully we are all in the position to be getting nice, clean water. And the Masaru Emoto, I believe is his name, this wonderful man who worked with the water crystals under microscopes and found that water charged with happy words and positive words really did actually create different crystalline structures, and those transfer into our body as we drink the water because our bodies have such a large percentage of water in them. And this charged water contributes to our bodies and helps align our bodies with whatever word, whatever thought we've charged the water with. So this is another simple thing to do. And it doesn't require very much. You can literally just write your word that you want on a piece of paper and stick it under your glass of water. It takes a couple hours for that water to absorb that word and those meanings. So what we do is we just have a carafe sitting out all the time, and we have the card or the word written and just place it under the carafe. And then we drink our water from that carafe. And so we're absorbing the energy into our bodies that we have placed under there. And those words could be healing, they can be love, peace, harmony, they could be intuition, things you might want to bring, abundance, happiness, joy, anything that occurs to you that would help your particular situation. You can charge your water with those kinds of energies and then drink from it throughout the day. And this is something we can all do again. And it has the same effects as the first suggestions having to do with food. It opens us up. It reminds us how prevalent the etheric energies are in our lives and how influential they are. And this is another step towards immersing ourselves in the magical zone from day to day. And we will reap benefits from these things that we can't comprehend yet. We may one day find that we are able to discern a danger or a threat to us long before it's seen. We might be able to open up to an extra dimensional being that before we were blocked. So these small steps really do start adding up in your overall picture and and they will contribute to your larger goals pertaining to magical progression and spiritual work. All right, so the third one I have is color of clothes. So color, it's in our world, right? Every day we see colors. And if you mindfully choose an item of clothing to wear, noticing, what does red bring into my life? I want more of that today. What does pink do? What does blue do? What is the meaning of gray? You could even look up once again on the internet in these correspondence type tables for magic and look up the meanings of each color and what they traditionally are thought of as to, kick into the subconscious. Also use your own, because all of these are subjective, of course, and while there are some traditional meanings that come to in every correspondence, you also will have your own feelings because of your past, because of things that may have triggered you or may have made you happy. For that reason, different colors mean different things to each person. And so don't worry if a traditional meaning doesn't align with yours. Always honor yours at the first and foremost, and then look at these traditional meanings. So let's say that you want some extra burst of creativity and you are trying to bring a project off the ground or a creative work, into your space. Maybe let's just say traditionally, let's choose orange for that nurturing quality and that expansive, fiery quality of creation. And let's say you decide to, maybe wear an orange shirt you have, or put on an orange bracelet or a stone. You might put a stone at your desk that is orange, like carnelian or something. And go ahead and look up the meaning of the stone, look up the meaning of orange, and just have this in your day that day. And go ahead and also notice color as you're out and about or in your own home and say, gee, I didn't realize this before, but I have orange all over the place in here. I never really took notice of that. Or you might find the reverse and say, wow, I have to look hard to find something that's orange. I might want to put a little more orange into my life, especially in the area that you are creating. Just an example. So as you go through your day, you look for the color, you go ahead and allow yourself to say, wow, how did that color just affect me really quick? Your first impression. I just saw this beautiful blue. How did it make me feel? That kind of thing. And just become aware of your surroundings. I would say color falls into this area that opens up your magic in the area of awareness. Truly it does. And that is another thing that will increase your sensitivity and your ability to discern nuances, signs, omens, and codes that come to you from magical dimensions. So we want to increase our awareness, and just taking a few moments to specifically choose a color to infuse into your life that day will do that. We'll start enhancing that awareness. The fourth one I have is the visualization. This is a very short exercise. This is by no means meant to be a visualization where you need to sit down and, spend 20, 30 minutes inside a deeper, more involved or intricate journey. This is a very quick one. And what you do is you just choose an object, anything. It could be the apple that is part of your lunch. It could be the bird that you have in the cage, or, that flies free in your home. Any object, right, that you can you feel like, yes, I can imagine that. I can get the details of that and in my mind's eye. And that's all you do. That's all you do. You do close your eyes for a moment and you say, I want to bring that apple into my mind's eye and recreate it as closely as possible. I want to imagine my bird and try to get every detail of his body and his feathers and his coloring in my mind's eye. So when you begin, if you are just beginning by some chance to work with visualization, this sounds easy, but when you go to do it, you find out it's pretty challenging after all. And you have to keep opening your eyes and looking a little bit more and say, oh, that's right, he has that brilliant blue feather right there. Okay, I'll close my eyes, try again. Oh, that's right, the apple has that stem, and I totally forgot to put that into the visualization. So you just take a couple minutes with this. And the purpose of this is to help your visualizations become more clear, more accurate, and stronger, and also help you be able to hold imagery for longer periods of time in your mind's eye. This is very critical to the magical process. And the better we get with this, the more we stretch. These are just like working muscles, right? Like daily exercises. The more you stretch, the stronger that muscle becomes. So the more you work with visualization, pretty soon you'll be saying, wow, I did a really good job there. I saw that bird. Now, maybe I only saw him for 2 seconds. I could hold on to the image for 2, 3 seconds. So tomorrow I'm going to try it for 8 seconds. I just got to see if I can do it. And so you can actually work with the same object of your choosing and just try to extend the time that you can hold on to that image, or you can choose a different object every day and try to get, vivid lifelike details, vivid third dimensional details attached to that when you move it into your mental sphere and your imaginative sphere. And this will be an exercise that everyone can use, because as you move forward in your magical practice, you will use your visualizations more and more, and the strength of those become very, very important. And lastly, I have the moon phase. So we all live where we are experiencing the moon at this point in time, and they have wonderful little free apps for your phone that will tell you what the moon phase is. You can look it up online, but just to become aware of how the larger world and the energies that are out in that big world are also spilling into your personal etheric energy field. And the moon phase is one way to really get close to larger spheres of influence. And you will start finding out, oh, a waxing moon, that means things are expanding. That means things are growing naturally. So this could come into one of the manifestation spells that you might be working on or hoping to bring about, right? Or this could come into a personal alchemy, something you're trying to increase, maybe your patience, or increase your kindness or your love towards someone that's a little more difficult to love. Whatever the case may be, you become gradually aware of what the moon's influences could be upon your life and upon your directed spell work and your craft. And so just on a daily basis, checking in to see what the moon phase is. And this can start growing if those of you that are really interested can start finding on these same apps that where the moon is, like, is it in Aquarius? Is it in Leo? Is it in Scorpio? What does that mean? Because each of the signs has its own energy. So maybe when moon is waxing, in other words, expanding, and let's say it's in Gemini, then you know that writing or communication will grow during that period of time. And maybe you could catch up on some letters that you need to write or emails to people or, whatnot. And so these are the types of patterns that will start emerging for you and will be recognizable to you if you open up to the first steps of the process, which is to say, hey, I'm just going to start being aware of what the moon phase is today. and get accustomed to some of the basic elements associated with that moon phase, because it's a very nice and easy and natural kind of large component to add to your practice. And it's just one of the most accessible and one of the most that we're tied to so strongly, each and every one of us. So it's a good place to start. So that's really it. Just some suggestions today for all of us to start increasing um, our energetic sphere and our confidence and our mindfulness about that sphere, and that it is applying to our lives, and that we can direct energy that we accumulate or that we um, desire to direct from that sphere and from our energetic receptacles that we have. We can share that or infuse things with that energy. We can also receive energy, and this kind of ebb and flow, this pattern of breathing in and out and watching energy come in and watching it go out, all of these 5 things will increase your sensitivity to that very natural motion and that very real and true energetic component, all of them, all the energetic components that surround you and really are part of your life, even though they exist for the most part in this invisible realm and so are so easily forgotten. And I hope that we'll have some fun with these things. So number 1 was food, number 2 was water, number 3 was color of clothing specifically. Number 4 was a short visualization, and number 5 was the moon phase. I wish you all the best with these short and simple exercises that do indeed have profound results associated with them. And I guess I will close for now and be back soon. Bye for now.